Welcome back to Wall again, and today I'm going to be reviewing the album Rocks by Aerosmith. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button now, and if you could also hit a like, it really helps out my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so let's dive in. Aerosmith Rocks, released in 1976, the fourth studio album by the band, and the first album since Toys in the Attic was released in 1975. So Rocks has gone 4 times platinum in the USA, and it got to number 3 on the US Billboard album chart when it was released. So in my opinion, this album is the epitome of hard rock. You've got all the elements there that you need for hard rock. I suppose starting with the bass line, you've got, or the backing, you've got a great bassist and a great drummer, able to hold down a groove. Then you've got layered guitars, you've got rhythm and lead guitars throughout all the songs, 2 fantastic guitar players in Aerosmith, and of course the vocals are as you'd expect from a hard rock band. They're gritty, they're high pitch, and really, really great. So this album was released in 1976, and the cover, if you notice here, it's got 5 diamonds, or rocks as they're called, and each one of them represent a band member. So there's 5 members of Aerosmith. The theme on this album is pretty simple. It's sex, drugs and rock and roll. Very straightforward. The label it was released through was Columbia Records, and it was produced by Jack Douglas and Aerosmith. It was recorded at the warehouse in Massachusetts and the record plant in New York. And in my opinion, the production on this album, it sounds very raw. Sounds like it's a live band jamming in a garage and it's just been hooked up and recorded. There's definitely been overdubs, there's no doubt about that. You can hear all that, but it really does sound raw. And yeah, I think it adds to the album. It gives the album a certain charm, but it's not polished like the later Aerosmith albums in the 80s and 90s certainly were. So the band lineup for this one is the classic Aerosmith lineup. So we have Steven Tyler on lead vocals. He, like I suppose, the primary songwriter. He also plays piano, he plays some guitar, he can play drums. He's an absolute genius. So Steven Tyler leading the line. Joe Perry on lead guitar and rhythm guitar. Joe, a little known fact, he also played the 6-string bass on the opening song Back in the Saddle. And then Brad Whitford, who plays rhythm guitar and lead guitar. On Last Child, Brad Whitford actually plays the guitar solo and all the lead guitar throughout that song. So give that one a listen. On bass is Tom Hamilton, and on drums is Joey Kramer. So the album clocks in at just under 35 minutes, and there's a total of 9 tracks. So in my opinion, not really a bad track on the album. The last 2 songs, song number 8, Lickin' a Promise, and 9, Home Tonight, are probably average, but everything else is brilliant. You wouldn't skip any songs in this album, or I certainly don't skip any songs in this album. And it's actually hard to, I can't overstate how important this album was to rock bands that followed on. They really took this album as a template for how to create great hard rock music. Like Kurt Cobain referenced this album as one of his favourites. Also James Hetfield from Metallica. And of course Slash from Guns N' Roses. This was his favourite album when he was growing up and getting into music and learning guitar. So it really does stand up, and it's a great inspiration to any hard rock, blues rock guitar players out there that are thinking of, you know, ideas and licks and solos. Like Joe Perry and Brad Whitford play phenomenally on this album. So overall, I would give this album an 8 out of 10. I'll just run through some of the standout tracks for me. Back in the Saddle is fantastic. Of course, you've got Last Child, which I mentioned. Rats in the Cellar is good. Song number 4, Combination, unbelievable, absolutely fantastic song. Six a Dog, number 5, great riffs. Nobody's Fault and Get the Let Out are also fantastic. So all in all, I'd give this album 8 out of 10. Very strong album, well worth checking out if you're a fan of hard rock. So let me know if you've listened to the album. Let me know what your opinion is in the comments below. And if you haven't listened to the album, go check it out and then come back and let me know what you think of the album. In my opinion, it's probably Aerosmith's strongest album from their back catalogue, but let me know what you think. So look, if you enjoyed this video, here's a few other videos you might be interested in. Be sure to stay tuned. Every Tuesday I'll have a hard rock review out, and I'll be doing a different album next week. And I also post a new video every day, so stay tuned for that as well. So bye for now, and I'll talk to you on the next one.